Welcome back to the Purple Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Ben.
And I'm Rick.
And it's that time of the week when Rick and I sit down to go through the headlines.
In the current media landscape, everything is printed in red or blue. Ben and I try to find the purple area between the lines.
We ask questions, apply logic, and discover what stories were written by the headline heroes.
Just like the news, we're not always right and we don't always agree, but we always look for some sort of common ground.
Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment or send an article you'd like us to discuss over at purplepoliticspodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or at Rick and Ben on Twitter. So this week, not a lot's been twisted in the news like last week.
No.
I mean,
the Brokaw thing's the only thing I see that's twisted.
Yeah, the Brokaw, he's getting called out for being a racist, or it seems like he's being called out for a racist, when all he did, it's a quote of him quoting somebody else.
What somebody said to him.
So he's being accused of saying, I don't want brown grandchildren and Hispanics need to assimilate better in America.
Right.
But what he really said on whatever program that was, I just hit the table again. Sorry, guys.
I think it was a CNN clip that I had seen, but it was a CNN clip of another news outlet. They took.
I think it was on Meet the Press or...
yeah, it was one of them shows like that.
But he said... And he keeps apologizing. I hate when you apologize for something that you didn't do.
Right.
Instead of just explaining, listen, you guys misunderstand and you're
taking my words out of context. You're misquoting me. I'm quoting somebody else.
So he's being quoted as saying, I don't want brown grandbabies and Mexicans need to assimilate better and speak English. What he really said, when he pushes Americans on the subject of immigration, quote, they say, it's right there. I watched the video. It's right in the video. They say, well, I don't know whether I want brown grandbabies. That's also a part of it. The intermarriage that's going on in the cultures that are conflicting with each other. I also happen to believe that the Hispanics should work harder at assimilation. So what he said on the program is when he's talking to Republicans, all they see when they see these Hispanic people coming across the border are more Democrats. And if you look at it and you think about the way things are going, that's exactly what's going on. A majority of these people, you can try to dispute me all you want. The majority of these people are just going to be Democrats. So yes, the Republicans are seeing that. And that's all he relayed. He didn't say he doesn't want brown grandbabies. He said the people he talked to. But then the news gets a hold of it and then twist.
Oh yeah, they twist everything. They need downloads. They need people,
and that's exactly the thing.
That's what it's about. One guy, I think he was pretty clear. I don't know when you want to talk about this, but Louis Farrakhan.
Oh yeah, that was going to be at the end, but you want to bring him up now?
Well, I'm just thinking we're already kind of talking about race.
Yeah, well,
because
the Tom Brokaw, this goes right into the news segment too, but that's a bigger segment. So let's get Farrakhan. Let's get people stop listening right now.
Wow, I actually had to look at this twice because I really didn't think that somebody's point of view was just so blatantly racist. But I guess it's okay as long as you're not white.
That's exactly how it is.
But the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan called for a separate state for Black Americans in an Instagram video posted on Thursdays, saying that's what God wants.
Yeah, that's what God wants. That Louis Farrakhan doesn't want a black
God
state.
Wants it.
God wants it.
Yeah, I don't think God's any particular color. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe.
I don't think God's a color, a gender.
No, I don't either. But
I have a totally universal view of God.
Yeah, well, maybe Louis Farrakhan, maybe they're friends or something. We don't. I don't know.
So here's my favorite part, because if this had come out of a white person's mouth, we would be in trouble.
Yeah, stop the press.
So what does he say? What does he call the people that oppose his beliefs?
Oh my God! Didn't he call them slaves or something?
Slaves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh, you don't agree with me? Well, you're just slaves.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I gotta wonder. The coffee he has in the morning. Is there cream and sugar and something else put in there, or does he? I'm. You know what it is? It doesn't. It's not just him. But it's when anybody from a particular race makes a statement like this, it just boggles my mind how somebody could be so narrow-minded.
I agree.
You know, and it's ignorant. The whole thing's ignorant. The comment's ignorant. The comment that God wants this is ignorant. First off, God loves everybody.
Let's just look at it from a logical point of view. Take God right out of it, because
Yeah.
God can't be down here to speak for him or herself or itself. I don't know how you want to refer to it.
Right.
He can't defend himself. How does Farrakhan propose creating a black state?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, wait, they're not going to build a wall, are they?
They better not. But there's near 50 million black people, he said, to build a nation state for themselves. Where are you going to get the money? What state are you going to kick people out of? Are you going to want the best state? What is the best state? How are you going to do this?
You know, well, as far as states go, I mean, Jesus, like, all right, what's like a state that nobody likes?
That's the thing. Everybody loves their state.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the thing.
It's true.
But so you're not going to get them out.
Well,
And
no matter what state you give them, there's going to be something wrong with it.
Right. But not only that, each state has a reservation. So you're going to kick the Indians out too?
Yeah, can't do that. It's not, listen, this isn't the Mayflower. This isn't the coming of the Mayflower. You can't do this again.
So, all right. So what about mixed race couples and families?
Slaves.
They're slaves. They can't move in because you have a white husband or a white wife.
Well, according to the article, yeah.
I mean, this is just batshit crazy. This is just taking stuff back.
And to be clear, I really don't think they're slaves. That's
what he's saying.
Yeah, it just it
those are the words out of
mind.
his mouth, not yours.
Yeah, no, I want to be clear.
We're not going to do another Tom Brokaw thing.
Yeah, we're not doing Tom Brokaw.
We are quoting Farrakhan.
I'd like to get Tom Brokaw's take on this. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Tom Brokaw isn't giving his take on this.
No,
it's just going to be twisted around.
No, he's not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But I mean, it throws me for a loop.
Where's he going to get the money?
I don't know. Statistically, it'd be very difficult for, a black state to be creative, because if you look at the, Bureau of Statistics on income levels and, races, they do it for every race. I think, unless there's some really, I don't know what Oprah's doing. I mean, maybe she could swing this, but I don't think that's her point of view.
No, it isn't her point of view.
So I can't see her.
I sure hope it's not her point of view.
You know what? I don't know what her point of view is, but I'm just going to go with.
I've never gotten that vibe from her.
I'm going to go with this is not her point of view. I think she has peace and love for everybody. I don't think. So Oprah, if you're listening, don't be upset with me. It's Ben's fault.
And fund the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah,
put us on the O network.
Yeah, put us on the O. This is the crazy shit in the world that has to stop. Everybody beats the drum on, when some far right nut job says something racist. How is this any different? Because
Tom Brokaw quoted somebody else, and it was blasted.
Well, yeah, because
this Farrakhan thing, you sent it to me. I hadn't even seen it until you sent it to me.
Yeah, because nobody's going to be appalled, because we can't touch this subject.
We're afraid to be appalled by what.
I'm not.
Now we're racist to say it.
All right, you know what? I know what I am, and I'm not racist. So if people want to think that, fuck them. They can think it. That, my friend,
that is racist.
What he's saying,
not what you said.
Yeah, is racist.
It's hard to do a podcast without a video because I'm pointing at the paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he said is absolutely racist.
I mean, geez, people say, racist shit and they lose their jobs. I don't know what he does for a living.
He gets supported. He gets more funding.
Yeah, he gets more funding.
Every racist thing that comes out of this guy's mouth, he gets more money.
I don't understand that, because I truly believe if somebody on the far right made the same statement, oh my God, this would be the news cycle for 6 months.
Oh yeah.
It'd be brought back up at election time and all this crazy shit, and I understand, there's freedom of speech, I guess you could claim freedom of speech.
Truth is, Rick, we will forget about Farrakhan by the time this podcast is over.
Yeah. Who are we talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's just move on, because you know what? I don't even want to give such crazy talk any real attention.
Let's talk about President Floppy Hair. So this week,
well, what's my little suntan man been up to this week?
So this week we heard some stories about like 1,000 journalists losing their job for various reasons.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah.
That's Trump. Trump's like, he almost seems proud of it. He's like, it's almost like a haha, you guys deserve it for being fake news.
Well, let's be honest. He doesn't like the media, and the media's not very crazy about
Well, he doesn't
him.
like the media that doesn't like him.
Right. Well, okay, so he likes everybody but Fox Network? I mean,
well, it's all fake news unless it agrees with him.
Yeah.
And if it agrees with him, it's good news.
Yeah, but even Fox said some shit about him here in this last week.
Everybody.
Somebody called him out on something.
Everybody should be, because Captain Twitter is just, he's another one that's batshit crazy. He's like I won't say he's the white Louis Farrakhan, but he's trying to be. I mean,
wow, that was a little strong. You can't just be calling people white, Ben.
I'm looking at you like, what am I talking about?
Come on.
But no, seriously, these all right, so rewind time. All right, so he's saying that all these people are losing their jobs because of fake news. This has been coming for decades. Back in the 80s, news was like the thing.
Yeah.
It was gold. If you owned a printing press, if you made the news, that was the only way to get the news. Like, not even in the 80s, not everybody had a television.
Yeah, got your paper delivered.
Right. Or you just went down to the news. They still had newsstands.
Yeah,
you go to the newsstand.
Yeah. We had Rocky's newsstand. Remember, you get cigars down there, papers.
Oh, I do remember Rocky's.
Yeah, that's a real hot spot. I don't think it's there anymore.
Working down in New York, they still have newsstands. There's no newspapers. It's just magazines and candy.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. So back then, they kind of had a monopoly. And then everybody wanted to be in it. And then it got a little bit easier to do the news. So people started doing it. And then they started putting local newspapers out of business. So like, I think I had the Akron Bugle when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it may still be there. I haven't been to Akron in years. But papers like that got taken over by, we have like the Post Standard.
Yeah, bigger papers.
We don't have any
absorbed them.
Yeah. But now, then the internet comes and everybody can just get easy access to news.
And anybody can get on the internet, though.
Anybody can. And they do. They made bad business decisions way back in the 80s. And then online publishing kicked their ass. And then some of them are even complaining like Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Hey, and if that hasn't been taken yet, you and I are starting that.
Yeah, that's property of Purple Politics
Purple
podcast.
Politics podcast. Yeah. It's for all our Christian friends out there.
Yes.
We will be sponsored by Christian Mingle.
Speaking of Syracuse, I don't want to get too far off, but did you hear Pete Davidson was shit talking?
No, I didn't.
Syracuse? Yeah, I guess him and one of us, they were here shooting a movie over the summer of 2018.
Yep.
And they got pulled over in Manlius, and one of them had some weed, some drugs and shit on him. And if you can, you want to Google this article because apparently he was in Variety magazine or something, and he said, "Oh yeah, Syracuse sucks. I'm never going back there. The police hunt me down." Dude got caught with some weed, paid a $225 fine. First off, Syracuse does not give a fuck if you're a movie star. If you have weed...
And you want to know something? They don't know who the fuck Pete Davidson is.
No.
I don't know who the fuck Pete Davidson is.
Yeah, Pete Davidson doesn't know who the fuck Pete Davidson is. That's half his friggin' problem. Yeah, I didn't want to get too far off that, but yeah, I just remembered that.
Yeah.
So he was talking mad shit about how terrible Syracuse was, and the police department has it out for him, and...
How terrible Syracuse is. Syracuse is the only fucking place in this country where you can have winter, summer, fall... maybe a little spring.
Yeah, for a minute.
All in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
we're about to have it now.
Yeah.
Watertown just got like 5 feet of snow. They're going to be 50 degrees on Monday.
Yeah, it was like -50, and it's going to be in the 50s on Monday. So let the flooding begin. Hope everybody owns a boat.
So what I misspeak with? Oh, so some of these newspapers and publishers are complaining that Facebook, not Facebook is ours.
Yeah.
Changed their algorithm in like 2016 to favor user-generated content, and that was one of the ways that the publishers used to push their product.
Right.
So they lost that. They're saying that they're having trouble getting advertisement, but I mean, just to do this podcast, I have to click off 400 fucking pop-ups because
Oh yeah,
they're greedy. I mean, that's what it is. And not only greedy, it probably does cost a lot to do.
that's why Ben handles it, not me.
That's why Ben goes through computers like crazy.
Yes.
Every time I punch it. It's not just that. So it's also, in my mind, this is from me, the mentality of the people. All right. We latch on to things, and for the longest time, so we used to, like I brought up the Post Standard. We latched onto the Post Standard. That's where we got our news. But the second something newer or better came along, because we used to have the Herald Journal too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Herald Journal was morning, Post Standard was evening?
Yeah, Herald was the morning, Post Standard was the night.
Well, everybody just focused on the night, so the Herald Journal was out. Then the internet came, and everybody jumped on the internet.
Yep.
Then Huffington Post came on the internet, and everybody's like, yes, I'm doing Huffington Post. But now we can't even listen to a full song without wanting to change the station because we just have such easy access.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that is, I think that's the majority of what's going on, because we don't have a loss of interest in the news. I will say this though, for local papers.
Yeah.
I think the downfall of local papers is the internet gave people the opportunity to just focus on news that agrees with their opinion.
Right.
Which also fed into what's kind of the reason why we brought in this podcast, because everybody's gotten so far left and right that we're trying to bring it back into the middle.
Right.
But that also destroyed a lot of these newspapers because they don't want to read the actual truth. They just want
They want to hear,
they want to hear their truth.
They want to be reassured what they think,
right,
or what they believe.
So you add that with the short attention span and the fact that, you know, people like us are creating podcasts. Other people are. Ben Shapiro created his whole news.
Oh yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
and then he became super famous. Well, somebody else will do it in 2 years, and then Ben Shapiro will be on the wayside. I think that's what happened. But I will say the Huffington Post editor-in-chief, Lydia Palgreen, she had a good quote to Trump. So Trump's kind of like happy that these people are losing the job because, oh, fake news, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, what she said was these are ordinary people with rent to pay, family support, student loan bills coming due. They are workers like any other who do not deserve this cruelty. And I agree with her. And everybody's listening right now, and they're like, well, isn't Huffington Post one of the people that are laying off people? Yes, but it's not Huffington Post. It's because of Verizon, who owns Huffington Post, who owns Yahoo and AOL, I think. They're doing a huge layoff, which had trickled down to these smaller companies. And that's the other thing. There's so many people that...
The company's so massive, so when there's a layoff...
Yeah, and it's not... Well,
it looks worse than it is.
They're only losing 220 people. And I'm saying only. That's probably a lot for the Huffington Post.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. There could be 400 employees, or there could be 1,200 employees.
There's so many news outlets out there that it's bound to happen. But Trump being like happy.
Well, there were almost 1 million federal workers out of a job for how many days?
Yeah.
It's no different.
Well, Trump was laughing at them, too.
You know?
He didn't care. Well, actually, he shut it down. Pelosi's the one who didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to argue with me on that? PurplePoliticsPodcast.com. Leave a comment.
Sign up.
All right, so let's move on to another twisted thing. And I don't know if you'll agree with me, but...
I don't. I disagree with you.
I haven't even spoke yet, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what article we're talking about. But...
So, Elizabeth Warren... She put her name in for 2020, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what she's doing?
Yeah.
All right. So she's talking about taxing the rich. She wants a special annual tax for those net worth that exceeds $50 million. And everybody's like...
For her and her friends?
Yeah. Well, they'll have a way out of it.
I'm going to get these middle-class suckers to vote for me yet. I'm going to tax the rich.
I forget who it was on our Facebook page, but that's actually what he said. He's like, are they going to have to pay it? I was like, oh, no, they'll find a loophole.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're going to create a tax that nobody's going to pay because we're going to put a loophole in. It'll look good while I run for election.
But you hear that and you're like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. And then you realize that the top 10% of earners already pay 80% of all taxes. I think the latest I heard was 47% of Americans don't even pay taxes. because they're
How do I get on that program?
well, they're too poor to pay taxes. So they don't make enough money to reach a tax bracket.
I feel poor. Does that count?
But here's where let's go into Ben's reality check corner.
Okay, here we go.
So here's the truth.
Put your seatbelts on.
There are poor people out there, and
No.
I feel bad for them.
No.
And some of them don't deserve to be poor. They just got the shit out of the deal.
No way.
I will say that. Some of them are fucking lazy.
No.
And others that aren't paying taxes, they're not fucking poor at all. So let's get out of that corner and go over to Ben's scam corner.
Yeah.
All right. So for all you want to know how these loopholes work, all right, when you're poor, you get tax breaks. There's people out there that get money back in taxes that never put a dime in.
Yeah.
Now here's how that works. So say you're going to get your tax credits for your children and stuff. You don't get married. You and your husband pump out 4 children, or you and your boyfriend pump out 4 kids. He says he lives somewhere else.
Yeah.
He makes all the money. You claim all those children. So now you get all that tax break at the end of the year.
That's about 12, 15 grand.
Right. You're also eligible for food stamps, for your Obama phone, for your Medicaid or whatever, your free health care that they're giving you that I'm paying for, which I get it. It's like $1 out of my taxes. But we're, as a society, are paying for
Right.
when your husband is eligible. But he's not your husband because you guys just don't want to get married. But you want all the... that's a legitimate scam. You can look it up. I guarantee every single person listeting to this right now
Knows
like,
somebody who has done this or does this.
yeah,
I guarantee
and
it.
it's not like this just came out of my ass. I can name the people that do it.
Well,
I
the
can name
IRS
people-
could be listening, so if you'd like to drop a few names, maybe they'll send us a bird dog.
I was just gonna say only if they're cutting me in. But so at my last job, I was making over 50 grand. We won't say how much I was making, but that's enough to know that people have to pay taxes.
Right.
And that's enough to know that you could probably support a family of 4, you, your wife, and your children. I know people at that job whose girlfriends, this is the system that they followed, but they were making over 50 grand, but the girl was getting the food stamps. So now these people don't have to pay for food.
Right.
And all they have to do is just claim that they live somewhere else.
Yeah.
And there's the government's always laying off people. We can't even get social services to take care of our children and homeless, let alone we're going to search all these people and make sure they're really living single.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have the system for that.
You know, it's funny. We're talking about this because what happens is in January, February, March, tax time, it's like one of the busiest times in the car business because all these people come in, they have these huge down payments.
Yep.
You know,
that's when everybody buys the new
you get their new car, their new furniture. You go
refrigerators.
Yeah, roll into I had a person I was talking to one time, and somehow we got on the topic. She was going to buy furniture, and I'm like, furniture? I go, didn't you just get furniture last year? She's like, yeah, I buy furniture every year when I get my tax return. I was like, how do you do that? That's how I know.
Yeah.
You know about this.
It's how it works, but
it's crazy.
To go back to Warren, before I get into the problem with Warren.
Oh, there's a lot of problems there.
Well, with what she's talking about right now. So the middle class. So everybody's like, well, this will take the burden off the middle class. And the middle class are already taxed as much as they can.
The middle class is overtaxed. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
The poor people know it, and really rich people know it. The middle class gets their ass kicked at every turn.
But I think going back to I'm talking about Larry Sharp before the program, less government. We spend so much fucking money on stupid shit.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's,
so,
crony capitalism right there.
Yeah.
Let's come out with a program. Yeah, we'll give it to our buddy over here. He can waste this money. We'll get nothing out of it. And who's checking it? Nobody. We're going to get Larry on the show.
Yeah, we do. Especially, yeah. I thought I saw it. He said he was running again for something.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
The one problem that some tax experts have brought up is the wealth tax might not even be constitutional. constitutional. The Constitution says the Congress can impose direct taxes only if they're apportioned based on the population of states. My thing is they already pay the majority of the taxes. You tax, all right. So what?
If I'm a rich person, I'm moving at this point.
Well, she does have a plan to make it so that people who go to move, they get ultra penalized or something like that.
How are they going to enforce that if you're in another country?
You
know what I'm saying? First off, I think the whole thing's bullshit.
She says the increased funding for IRS enforcement and an exit tax for net worth. So what she'd probably do is they'd freeze your American accounts, which we all know the rich, they have their monies overseas anyways.
Yeah.
Because so that America, that's my thing. All right, so
somebody's fun account's gonna get froze.
The rich really aren't paying as much of the tax as they pretend that they are, because they get the loopholes. Yeah. They keep all their money overseas, but the rich own most of the businesses. So say you do put a wealth tax on there, who's gonna really get hit? The middle class, because the poor aren't buying the shit.
Right.
The middle class are buying the shit.
Going to have to pay more because
the stuff's
going to
cost more.
And here's what they're going to do.
You know what I think? I think economics should be economics 101, college economics 101 should be required for every American citizen.
Yeah.
Before you can complain about anything.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense when you just look at it through economics. If you give me a cost, I'm passing that on wherever I can. It always ends up going down the chain.
Right.
So if I charge the rich people more, the rich people are just going to trickle it down. Bush had it right, the trickle-down effect. Yeah. Except that doesn't work when you give them money.
Yeah, trickle down, empty your pockets.
It only works when you take money away.
Absolutely.
But my problem with Warren is she says this, she's running for president. She only said it for clickbait and eargasms because she knows it's not going to go anywhere.
She knows it's a hot topic for middle class and people that aren't so well off. They want to see rich pay more in tax, and she knows it's a hot button. She's just throwing out there. This thing's horseshit. First,
absolutely.
It'll never be implemented.
But
it'll never work because here's what's going to happen. Okay, I own a business. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to increase my cost and show less profit. I'm going to come in under the wire. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a million ways to get around this. So this is just clickbait. It's all bullshit. All right. It doesn't mean anything because a junior accountant will have a field day with this. You don't even have to put your top accountant on this to get around this. I mean, that's how pathetic it is.
But this goes beyond just being bullshit. It speaks to how our politicians talk to us.
Yeah.
They know it's not going to go anywhere, yet they feed it to you. Yeah. And then they feed it to poor people.
Yeah.
Because so the poor person looks at that and they're like, oh, we're going to get more money because we're going to tax more. Motherfucker, you already don't pay any taxes. You're not going to get anything from this. Yeah. You are not going to benefit at all. None of this tax money is going to go to you.
Right.
It's going to go to some bullshit program that nobody's going to use. Middle class is going to go to you and extra costs.
Right. Yeah, that's where the middle class is going to get it. They're going to pay more.
But middle class people who don't understand economics are like, oh, that's fucking great. That'll lower my tax bill. Yeah, no, your tax bill is going to be exactly the same.
Right.
Fucking, I don't understand. I mean, Trump does the same thing. But then again, I will say, in Trump's defense, he's tried to pass everything that he's promised. You know, he's having some trouble with the border wall. We don't agree with the border wall.
No, he's not having trouble with the border wall. That's going up, and Mexico's paying for it.
He made a promise, and he's trying. And you know what? Yeah. I 100%, if there is going to be a border wall, I think Mexico should pay for it. Because the problem that Trump is complaining about is Mexico's fucking fault.
Their lack of action.
Yeah, you let all these people walk through your goddamn country.
Yeah, because they know they're not staying. Just let them pass through. Keep going. Just passing through.
I think you're right, though. Get a train.
Yeah.
Ship them to Canada.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day that listened to the podcast, and they were saying to me, and I actually forgot to tell you about this. They were saying to me, you know, when they find these people and they get them, they put them up, they house them, they process them. And she was saying to me, this is bullshit. Why do we do that? Why do we pick them up and process them and all this bullshit? She said, you find these two people cross the border and the Border Patrol picks them up, drive them right back to the border and send their ass right back through.
Exactly.
She said, there's no reason for them to stay here. And, I'm thinking, why don't we do this? Why you take their happy ass back to the border, kick them out of the vehicle, kick them out of the country, and say, if you want to come back in, the line's over there. And then if they keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, you just keep taking them across the border. And then, I don't know, maybe, after the 12th time, throw them in jail. I don't know. I'm just saying, but that would discourage somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, just think of the money it costs and the time to get into the country. And then some Border Patrol agent finds you, and 15 minutes later, you're back in Mexico. It took you 18 hours to trek here.
Yep.
I mean, at some point, you got to be a little defeated.
I agree. I don't understand why we don't do that. I think if I had to take a guess, I think it's society has gone real soft, real fast.
Don't care, man.
So,
you know what?
But the problem is,
go sneak into Iran, see what happens.
The people in power are the ones that do care. So they make all these rules. They're like, no. Look, we're taking care of them. We understand they want to come in.
Yeah. There is no taking care of them. Why? The taxpayer, I'm paying for it. But you're paying for it.
But here's my thing. If Canadians did the same thing, we wouldn't have the same problem.
What do you mean? If I go to Canada and they send me back, hey, listen, at least I get some of that XXX beer and I can catch a hockey game.
If you got the wrong thing in your car, you told them you had one apple and you have two.
Yeah.
They turn you right back around at the border.
Yeah.
Just like if they come into our country and they have one too many cartons of cigarettes.
Yeah.
We turn them right back around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But Mexico, we can't?
Yeah, I don't know why it's like
we
that.
Do
Listen.
It. So wait. So I don't know the exact length, but you can just look at a map. In the border of Mexico is only 2 inches on the map.
Right.
The border across Canada is 8 inches on the map.
Right.
We're able to do it all the way across Canada without a border.
Well, yeah.
And without housing them. And now it's not, we don't have that border that we used to have where you could just cross willy-nilly.
Yeah, all willy-nilly and shit.
I said that word after the podcast like 17 times. I couldn't stop saying willy-nilly.
I didn't sleep at night because
only because you called me out on
dumbass word.
And if you missed last week's episode, that's what we're talking about. What just hit the window?
Don't know. Probably a bird.
So if Rick and I die, there's something outside the house right now. But we don't have the same border. So we have to have passports and stuff now. Where a long time ago we didn't.
Yeah, you just needed your license.
But the reason we didn't a long time ago is because nobody's staying.
Right.
We are going to go and come back, whereas Mexico, they're not. But why can't we just send them back?
I don't know. And I thought that was a very good question. I mean, why do we have to, you know what? I mean, just, you catch them, you detain them, and you put your vehicle in drive, and you drive them back to a point of entry.
Yep.
You take them out, you take them to the line, you uncuff them.
You call the Mexican police to pick them up.
Yeah.
And then the Mexican police have to deal with them.
Yeah. I mean, why are we not doing this? That's what that's what I'm curious.
Some fucking baby is going to just cry.
Yeah, but I don't care. Look at the
that's
billions of dollars.
But that's the society we live in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter if I got shot in my face right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if somebody went out back and raped my children. If the population is upset, that negates everything else that just happened, because these guys are crying on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
I got my teary eyes pictures on Instagram, people, with my hashtags.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Look, I don't care if they catch you in Montana. You're on the first transport back to the border and back across the border.
It's so simple.
And if you just keep doing that, listen, to fly even one person back with a guard has got to be cheaper than what we're spending.
Again, if somebody could just explain this to us, purplepoliticspodcast.com, send us a message. Because I want a conversation. That's the whole point I did this, because I want left and right.
Yeah, you're going to hear fucking crickets on this one, because nobody can explain that.
Yeah, there's no argument for it.
There is no argument. Yeah, there's no counter. You can't add to this. Somebody's not going to come on the show and go, with one of those voice boxes going, yeah, I'm a government employee, and this is why we do this and that, and it's real sinister. That's not going to happen. It's just not.
I guarantee it either comes down to hurt feelings or some sort of money thing that is just not coming off my head.
Hurt wallet.
All right, let's do some quick offs real quick. So I thought this was kind of cool. I never thought about it before, and But alligators. So alligators live down south, right? And you never think about it, but with this crazy climate change stuff, and even though it's global warming, it's affecting the weather patterns across the world, which is making like polar vortexes worse. And I think Georgia it got like freezing again. And there's alligators that have to deal with like frozen water. And there's pictures on the internet of these alligators with their snouts frozen in place.
That's crazy.
They do it on purpose, and it's an evolutionary trick, which means that they've had to do this.
They've encountered this before.
And it's in their genes. So they know when it gets cold to bring their snouts up to the top, because if it freezes, then at least their snouts are above the water. No wonder these things have been alive for
millions of years.
They're like the oldest animals in the world, aren't they? Just about one up.
Shark. Yeah, they got to be one up. Yeah, they're prehistoric.
Speaking of sharks, did you see that like 500-year-old shark off Iceland is 400-something-year-old?
No.
Oh, look that thing up. It's ugly as hell.
Oh.
It looks like a 500-year-old shark.
Yeah.
But I guess their metabolism is so slow.
You know, I really
we just turned into an Animal Planet podcast.
You know, it's funny because I was reading one of the president's tweets like, you know, it's -50. Where's global warming now?
Well, the thing is, all right, so
I was like, you got to be shitting me, man. Where's global warming now? Yeah, listen, people, global warming doesn't mean that the entire planet is warm everywhere. That's not what global warming means. I know there's a few people that need an explanation.
But it does get hotter. The overall temperature of the world has been hotter.
More ice will melt,
year.
But you also have volatile temperature swings and weather. More forest fires, more sub-zero temperatures, more heat waves. Any of this ringing a bell? What's been going on in the last year?
Now, I am not a global warming denier. I am a global warming name hater. I like climate change. But I also don't believe that man is the sole culprit. And I also believe that man is a culprit of climate change. I think the earth goes through cycles.
Did climate change was affected on this planet back in was it the 1600s? When the Europeans came over?
I'm not sure the total history of it. But yeah, I mean,
there was an article you gave me, if I remember right.
I can't remember.
Why the hell else would I know that?
But climate change, so the world does go through shifts.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
and
for sure.
Every X amount of years, there's an ice age.
Yeah.
And last I knew, the two things that we're coming up on are, and I know this is probably some just bullshit that I just saw on the internet, but Yellowstone. I watched the documentary, and you can look at pictures and see that Yellowstone is actually raising up. It's going to boom. So you got that super volcano is about to happen. We're within, I think we're past the mark because it happens every 100,000 years.
You know what's funny is we have a lot of listeners in California. You're freaking everybody out right now.
I should be freaking out the entire world because if Yellowstone blows, we're dead.
Guess the new tax loophole won't matter.
Yeah. But the other thing that happens with the same consistency are ice ages. And I believe it was in Al Gore's thing, and he showed that the climate change is raising exponentially faster than it has before. But before every ice age is an uptick in heat and then crash.
Right.
So, like I said,
should get Al Gore on the show.
Al Gore, give us a call.
Yeah.
I almost put my phone number right now.
It's that easy.
But there is a man-made problem, and I think we're speeding up to the next ice age.
We're accelerating.
But sure. I think that the planet, I think both sides are partially right.
Yeah, but now listen, most people when you say ice age, they think of the movie with the guy from Raymond, who's one of the voice characters for the woolly mammoth.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you can have an ice age and not have it be that drastic.
I'm pretty sure ice will go right down to, what is it? It goes down to like North Carolina.
So what? North
I'm moving to
Carolina.
Georgia anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
To be with the alligators.
I'll be at the Big Sombrero, and anybody on the East Coast is going to know where south of the border where the Big Sombrero is. Everybody's going to know where that is.
So staying on topic with the animals. So this program's about talking about left and right, and I don't think I've ever talked about a bipartisan bill on this show.
No, because there's so few.
It never happens. But finally, because of animals, they came together and created a bill that would make it a felony to crush, burn, drown, suffocate, or impale animals. Yet it's only punishable by 7 years. Now, I get that animals are animals and humans are humans, but I've always had pets. And I never understand those people. Like, I just saw a picture of 2 frozen dogs. Who leaves their fucking dogs outside when it's freezing out?
The owner of them 2 frozen dogs.
Oh, fucking obviously. You don't know how mad I just got. I'm like,
brains
are popping out of my
I
head.
thought it was a trick question. I was just answering.
What type of person? Like,
oh, real assholes.
so
That's for
to
sure.
me, I don't care. I had a rat once. You know what? The second I bring it, you got a dog in there. I consider your dog family. The second I bring an animal home,
wait,
I know you don't.
I don't like that dog. No.
But the second I bring an animal home, they're family. That cat, Rocket, he chose us.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's not our cat.
I'm not a cat guy, but that's a cool cat.
He just showed up.
Yeah.
You know what? He's family. He comes in the house. He goes out whenever he wants. I'm just talking to a cat person. They're like, don't let your cat out.
Why?
Like, he wants to go out. Just let him go out.
Yeah.
He's not even ours.
Yeah.
We had a dog. The dog only went outside to play and to use the bathroom. I don't understand. They are animals. They are living. Just because they don't talk and you think they don't have a consciousness,
Oh, they do.
they're still living, breathing things. And
Yeah,
these same people get pissed off at other people for having abortions, for using birth control pills. Are you kidding me? Well, God gave us animals to eat.
Oh, I prefer to get my meat at the grocery store.
Well, those that cell that split 4 times is more important than a dog? I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know? Stop abusing animals, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, would you? Yeah. If you abuse animals, you're just a coward. And that's all.
The second I saw bipartisan, I clicked on it. I didn't even read the headline. I was like, what is this? Click.
Headline hero.
Yeah, that's me. So, last quick cap. Cory Booker. Cory Booker, yesterday announced that he's running for president.
Didn't he, like 8 months ago, he say when he was coming out of the Senate or
remember when they were all just walking out?
I'm not running for president.
All those people.
Yeah,
Cory
all
Booker
of them said it. Yeah,
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
All of them. Just they did their little protest and
Yeah.
no, this isn't because we're running.
This is
it's because of a point. No,
Yeah.
we fucking called it back then. You're
Yeah.
running for president.
So the Dems did learn something from the last election. Everybody and their mother is running as a Democrat this year.
That's right. Except for Starbucks guy. Starbucks guy is running as an independent.
Yeah.
Which that has pissed people off because they're like, you're just going to take votes away from us.
Yeah. So Trump will goad him into running because he knows it'll cut into the
He's going to
Democratic
win
vote.
again because Starbucks guy is
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. Thanks, Starbucks.
Starbucks.
$7 macchiato.
It's no longer thanks Obama. It's thanks Starbucks guy.
And I don't even know what a macchiato is, but I'm blaming it on a macchiato. Although they do have this vanilla ice thing there, and not the Singer vanilla ice. I'm talking about, it's like it's just like a vanilla milkshake, but with tons of caffeine. So, like, you can get your ice cream fix and do a complete 12 hours of work in 7 hours because you're so hopped up on caffeine.
So you guys can't see it right now, but Rick just got really excited, and I am a little freaked out by this.
Rare for me to get excited.
If
but,
you hear some noise, that's me sneaking out of the room.
I do suggest, though, if you're ever you get that vanilla thing. It's called the vanilla bean or whatever that they have. It's off the hook.
Listen, they're not sponsoring us. Stop it.
No, but now I just want to go to Starbucks.
We better get some free.
Do we still have a Starbucks?
I think it's in Target.
Target has a Starbucks?
Another company that's not sponsoring us, Rick. Stop it.
Oh,
stop it.
Sorry.
So, now we have, you got Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris.
Who's Tulsi
Gabbard?
Oh, wait. I know who she is. Isn't she the lady from Hawaii?
Is she the lady from?
Yeah, and I think she was a military veteran to boot. Yeah, I'll have to check on her. I think that's who that is.
So all those with Cory Booker have announced it, and they're still thinking that in the coming months, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Sherrod Brown, a whole bunch of people are planning on it. Like everybody's coming out of the woodwork to run against Trump.
Don't we have a local, Kristen Gillibrand?
Is she running?
I think so. And then
she'll never get it. Nobody knows who the fuck she is.
Who was the mayor of Syracuse there? Not Stephanie Minor. Is it Stephanie?
Yeah, it was Stephanie Minor because Ben's mayor now, right?
Yeah. So it's either that or the county legislator there.
Only another Ben can just call him Ben. Like
it's just Ben, just Mayor Ben, Mayor Ben.
I don't even know his last name.
Yeah,
I just know it's Ben.
He's just Ben. We just call him Ben. Yeah, I saw, and I think someone else. So I mean, there's got to be 10 candidates already.
So let's talk about a scary thing that Bernie Sanders said. I heard it on a podcast.
He's going to become a Democrat again for 9 months and ruin the Democratic Party?
No, but I guess he put forth this like proposal. He wanted to divide the country up into like 12 or 13 regions.
Has he been talking to Farrakhan?
Well, no, but he was talking...
They're working together, I bet.
Well, he was talking about like job losses and industries going down.
Let's put all the poor people in one state.
Well, that's basically what it was. He was going to split it up, and then this part does this part does that, this part does this part does that, this part does this part does that.
Wait.
And they all... Wait. They're all run by a, like, one person, not like a governor, like... I called, in my notes, I wrote down like a CEO. This is straight out of like 1984 type stuff. Recently, well, not so recently, but that movie, Hunger Games. That's fucking Hunger Games without the killing. Yeah. Each section
we know of
had their own. I wish I remembered what podcast. Or maybe it wasn't a podcast. Maybe it was that book
I do have
one.
All right, I gotta ask. So Bernie Sanders, this is like his idea.
This was his idea.
Is marijuana legal in his state?
Vermont, yeah, because remember my cousin wanted to move there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that explains this idea. Weed. He must have been on his own baked goods or something. I don't know.
But I mean,
some of these say that.
But some of this liberal stuff, all right, and I hate to say it because I don't like taking sides, but some of this liberal stuff is getting scary.
Yeah, for sure.
It's straight out of like these I bring it up again.
Is it scary as the right is getting far right? The left is getting even farther left.
Yeah, the far right wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
And the far left is like, oh, I want to save everybody. But to save everybody, I want to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah,
because that's. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Nuts. When does
they don't want you to be able? They don't want you to have free speech anymore.
Right, can't have that.
You can't even use a fucking pronoun. Don't get me started on that.
Oh yeah, again. Steve was his name Steve or her?
That's
name
what
Steve?
I named her.
Oh, all right.
It's just insane. Absolutely insane. They're going, both sides are going, we need to come back to center. We need people. I think the problem is we do just focus, like bring this right back around to the beginning. We focus on articles and news that just confirm our beliefs. So if you're religious right, you only look at stuff that say, yeah, the earth is flat. Well, why is the fucking moon round? We're all floating in the same space.
It's not round. It's just flat, but in a circle. It's not a flat square.
You're right. It's just bullshit, you know? How do you fly in a straight line? You can fly in a straight line and then back up where you are. How do you do that on a flat earth?
Look, man, I'm not a physicist. I just know the earth is flat.
All right, so if anybody has any proof that the earth isn't flat,
I'd like to see it.
Well, head over to purplepolitics.com. Let us know. Remember to like and share this. Rate, subscribe.
Cook clean, do something.
Cook clean. You're killing me. I forgot where I was now.
Well, this is where he was, folks. That's Ben. I'm Rick. Thanks for listening.